Welcome to our first podcast, The Fast Women. We are really excited to have you join us today. And I'm Angela Hunter. And I'm Nicola McIlhagger.
And we are the creators of the Cinch FAST 30, which is a 30-day introduction to intermittent fasting. And we are going to tell you our story on our very first podcast in a hope of inspiring you on your weight loss journey. So,
yep, we're just ordinary women. I'm 45. Angela, how old are you?
41.
41. So, yes, we're that time of our lives where we just need to take action for our health and well-being.
Exactly. And my intermittent fasting story started like everybody else in lockdown. I gained far too many pounds and it was actually on top of weight that I'd already carried for 10 years. I was probably 1.5 stone, 2 stone overweight.
Lockdown has a lot to answer for.
It has, but it just added to the weight I already had, which was just depressing, and I didn't really appreciate it until I saw a photograph of myself. I think we all live in denial.
Which I did not notice, because I suppose when you see somebody every week, you don't notice, that you put on weight.
Yeah, I was always really self-conscious of it, and then it's until you see a photograph of yourself that you don't really appreciate it, and there's no hiding from it really at that stage.
No hiding from photographs.
So I saw a photograph of myself online that my sister had put on that she hadn't allowed me to vet. You know, somebody sent her pictures, not that one, not that one. She just put them up, and I was just scrolling through that night. They'd been on for 12 hours. I was like, oh my. Get those off. She's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm obese. Get the photographs off. No, I think you're lovely. I think you're lovely. Get them off. So I knew at that stage I needed to stage an intervention. So I started running and started doing what everybody tells you to do: eat less, move more. I'm a big eater, so the eating less wasn't really appealing to me. So I went for a run with my friend Fiona. And the first thing I noticed, I hadn't seen her since lockdown 1. So first thing I noticed was that she looked incredible, where I looked like an Oompa Loompa.
Oh.
She looked incredible.
I hate that when that happens.
I was like, sorry, I didn't know we were dressing up.
You're like saying, oh yeah, you look great. Yeah, what the actual hell?
Don't look at me, don't look at me. So we went on a run, and I said, Fiona, what the hell's happened? You look incredible. I look like a Oompa Loompa. She's like, well, I've lost 2 stone 10 pounds doing intermittent fasting. I'll tell you on the run. So off we run. There's me huffing and puffing. Tell me everything. Tell me right now. So she just told me, no, I just eat in a certain time frame every single day, and the weight has come off consistently week on week. I was like, I'm in. I don't care what, just tell me everything. So she told me the guidelines to follow, and it was actually a book that she lent me called Jen Stevens' book called Delay Don't Deny, which you have read, and I just couldn't believe what I was reading, that this isn't only for weight loss. Weight loss is just a wonderful side effect, but it is incredible for your health. And I think that's what really piqued your interest.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're not taught these things at school. You know, even no idea about what you should be eating or when you should be eating. You know, there's no education.
There's no education, and you just follow the latest fads. You just follow this. What are we doing, Slimming World?
Yeah.
What are you doing, carb free? Right, I'll do that. But
it never lasts.
It never lasts.
It's not sustainable. There's no way you could just give up carbs or fat or things like that. You just can't do it.
And I think, so I started doing intermittent fasting on the 1st of December. So winter was against me. Lockdown was against me. Christmas was looming, and I didn't really tell anybody, because
that's a hard time to start as well, coming up to Christmas.
It was really hard because there's lots of feasting involved with Christmas, and you associate it with cakes, you associate it with roast dinners, which are my very favourites, desserts,
Christmas and just stuff in your face.
Stuff in your face. But I knew if I didn't do something now that this was just going to get worse and worse and worse. I knew I needed to stage an intervention. So read the book, started intermittent fasting the next day. My husband thought I'd lost leave of my senses.
But you went hardcore.
I went hardcore.
Went in, what, 24?
At 24. So I started eating in a 4-hour window. So I remember I made roast dinner the next day. I made roast dinner the next day, and I invited Simon's mum round, and it's like, we're eating at 4 o'clock. She's like, what? Simon's like, I remember sitting and eating his dinner and going, don't ask, Mum. She's doing some crazy. I said, just eat it. This is a late lunch. Just eat it. So everybody had to eat their lunch at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, I'm cooking, so I make the rules around here. And I did that consistently. I did it every single day. all throughout December, maybe give us a Christmas day off. But the beauty of it is you don't need to do a 4-hour window every day. So Christmas, I was very flexible with it.
I just couldn't believe you stuck to it.
I know.
Because the amount of times I admit, I'm doing raspberry ketones, I'm doing this and doing that. I was thinking, oh dear God, what now is she doing?
And I was silent. He's like, don't ask Mum, she's doing another crazy ass diet. I'm like, it's not crazy, it's backed up by medical research. And I think the reason I stuck it is because it's so flexible. So if I wanted to do 12 to 4 that day, the next day I could do 2 to 6, or I could do, if I was hungry in the morning, I could do 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. or whatever. It was all so flexible. And the beauty of it is you can pretty much enjoy all your favorite foods. And for me,
oh, you love your food.
I love my food.
We love our food.
We unite over food. Every day we're like, what do I have for lunch?
That's the most important part of the day.
Where are we going for dinner? What will we make today? So I think for me, the fact that you could still enjoy all your favorite foods was the huge appeal. Yeah. I think anything that has a lot of restriction in it or calorie counting,
you can't stick to it.
You can't stick
to
it.
Real life.
You do it. I remember once doing my macros and bought scales and all. And after dinner time, I was like, I'll never do that again. I was so disappointed.
The thought of weighing out and looking at your protein and your fat and your calories. Oh my God, it's so boring.
It's so boring. And it's so restrictive. I think, it's not sustainable in the long term. You can't go to a restaurant and go, sorry, could you weigh out my rice quickly before I eat it? I think this really works because it's so flexible and you can still enjoy all your favorite foods. And that's not to say you have a chippy dinner for every single meal. It's as you go through it and you relate to this.
Oh, definitely. You just become a lot more mindful in what you eat because your window and your eating window is so important to you. You just think so much more about what can I eat? What is actually going to be good for my body? What's going to help restore my body and give the nutrients you need.
Your taste buds change. So initially you do want the chippy dinner and the McDonald's.
And you crave the sugar and you crave all the
because we're all sugar monsters and we're all completely
addiction to carbohydrate and sugar.
Yeah. So as time goes on and you wean yourself off that and you realise that you were addicted in the early days, you start to want more of your fruits and your vegetables and the good stuff. So you start to crave that. So it's really weird the way it happens, isn't it?
Yeah. Even now, whenever, even the thought of eating or drinking, like Coke or anything highly processed.
Yeah, I just see it as toxic now.
Yeah, you kind of think, oh God, what is that actually doing to my body?
Yeah, I just completely have reframed all that stuff in my mind. Naturally, not by doing any crazy process. I just see it as a toxin. I'm just like, no, I don't want Coke.
Yeah, your body doesn't need it.
Your body doesn't need it. So that's what happened. So week on week, I lost weight from December onwards. I hadn't really seen you because this was hardcore lockdown. And then January, I think you were allowed to see one person for a walk.
And then I had that moment where I met you and went, oh my God, what the heck?
You did, I think it was mid-January, and I was like, you're just saying that, Nicola, you're just saying that. You're just saying that because you know.
You're like a totally different person. Your skin was glowing. Your figure was amazing.
My coat was too big.
You looked absolutely fantastic. And you were a wee bundle of energy. And I was thinking, what the heck? Really? This is all down to intermittent fasting?
Yeah. So remember we went on the walk. I remember it so clearly where I was just getting out of the car, putting my coat on, and I thought you were just saying that because I think you get really paranoid. You're just saying that because you know I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not. Will you take the compliment?
Oh my gosh, you're literally half the person.
Yeah, we went on the walk, told you all about it, and you were like, right, okay, right. Well, I've put on a bit of weight.
Yeah, I put on about 9 pounds, but it was the funny just when you go back to the Fiona story, because whenever I saw you, I was like, oh, I was always a thin one.
I know. I was always the joke. I was always the one that if we had to take photographs with the corsets, do we know anybody a bit overweight? Let's think. I'm sure we know somebody. It was always me. And she couldn't even hold the camera for laughing.
That's true.
Do you remember you had to drop the camera upstairs? So I was always the chubby friend.
So whenever I saw you went, here, hang on a minute, that's not fair.
I was back in the game.
Give me that intermittent fasting book this minute. I need to get this in my life.
Yeah. So you started doing it, and did Stuart think you were mental?
Yes, everyone. My mom's first thought was, oh, that's bad for you. What, you're not eating? Yeah. Oh my goodness, or Nicola. Oh, that's bad for you. That's not, honestly, you need to stop that, And I was going round, she's going, oh, do you want a wee cup of tea with milk and a wee scone? I was going, oh no, I'm not eating until 12:30 today. And she was like, oh God, there's something seriously wrong with it.
Simon was the same. He would be shouting, there's something wrong with you. You need to go and see a doctor. I was like, no, you need to go and see a doctor. Have you not read the medical research? So I started quoting all these Harvard papers, and he's like, what are you talking about? You can't even read a Jackie Collins book, so why are you suddenly quoting Harvard? I was like, yeah, well, yeah, it does autophagy. And I was like, you don't even know what autophagy means. I do know what autophagy means. You don't need. So there was a lot of that in the early days, and he went from being the biggest critic to now the biggest fan. Yeah. So people would come round and, well, actually, you've lost loads of weight. Oh yeah, it's the intermittent fasting she's doing. She'll tell you all about it. It's in all these Harvard papers. So it's just funny.
The way you change.
Yeah. And it was an education for us, because at the start it was very counterintuitive to what we've been taught, that you need your breakfast, the most important meal of the day.
Every time you have a hunger pang, you need to eat. You need to go to the fridge and get a snack, because you can never be hungry.
It's madness.
It is total madness. But then as I started doing it, I suffer from endometriosis. So endometriosis is a horrible disease. 1 in 10 women are affected by it, and there is no real treatment for it. It's basically, you can take hormones, you can take the pill, or pain relief, and that's kind of your two options that the doctor give. So whenever I started looking into intermittent fasting, it was amazing that I actually started to feel a whole lot better. So I wasn't taking the pain medication as much any longer. I just felt my energy levels starting to return.
And when you do a bit of digging into it, you realize that's because one of the major benefits of intermittent fasting is that it reduces inflammation in your body. Endometriosis is
inflammation-based disease,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then the more research we did, we were just like, I cannot believe that this is helping your endometriosis, help your thyroid.
Yeah.
So
my thyroid medication, I've reduced it down as well. I had an underactive thyroid. So yes, I've reduced my thyroid medication, and then, as I say, also my painkillers as well. So for me, it's been life changing.
It has.
And
you lost weight as well.
And another side benefit was I had put on about 8 or 9 pounds. Which just meant all my clothes were starting to feel uncomfortable. You put your jeans on and go, oh God,
they've shrunk in the wash.
What's going on? Yes, it must have just washed those jeans. So yes, lost the 8 or 9 pounds that I was carrying, and then I have a lot more energy and I feel a lot better as well. So for me, intermittent fasting is just a game changer.
It's a game changer for your health. For me, the weight loss had depressed me for 10 years. I had literally tried everything, and this, like I tried Slimming World, I tried Weight Watchers, I did carb free for one day until about 8 o'clock at night, and then I just went and feasted on about 2 rounds of soda bread, some Vita bread, chocolate, couple of bags of family size. I think that's like any major restriction, I just rebel against it. I think that's the diet culture. That's why diets don't work. This works so well because
it's a lifestyle. You just need to get your mindset right and realize why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So it's not just weight loss, it's all the health benefits that come along. And once you get your mindset right and you start feeling better and start seeing the results, there's no going back.
There's no going back. It's been a full year. So we're in mid-November. So it's nearly been a full year since I've done that. Have you ever known me to stick at anything for a year?
Not more than probably 2 weeks before.
Yeah, we'd be going to an event in 2 weeks. I'd be Googling fast ways to lose weight.
How do you lose a stone in 2 weeks?
Yeah. So that was the thing. The weight came off consistently, and I think it was until Easter till I saw a group of people, because you were allowed to see one person for a walk. One day we'll look back at this and go, do you remember you were only allowed to go for a walk?
It's actually insane when you think about it.
It's madness. So, excuse me, it was Easter weekend. I had gone to my mum's for a barbecue, and my whole family were there, and I remember going in, sitting down, and my sister-in-law eyeballing me. I was like, what are you looking at?
That look of
I was like, what are you looking at? You're making me paranoid. And then we had a wee drink, and she just leaned over and went, what the hell have you done? I can't take it anymore. What have you done? I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? How have you lost all the weight? And then I started being a paranoid again. You're saying that. She knew I've been trying to lose weight for 10 years. She's like, would you shut up? You've lost. How the hell have you lost all that weight? So I told her about it. And by the end of the night, she's like, right, phone me tomorrow. Tell me the words about the intermittent fasting. So the next day I told her, and then you started to emerge from society, meet people in Tesco's. How have you lost all the weight? Tell me the secret. Tell me your secret. Text me that night. Will you tell me about that intermittent fasting? This went on and on. The more people you met, you know, you were telling them, you telling your mum and dad you'd reduced your pain meds and everything. So we were like,
the world needs to know about this.
The world.
How do people not know about this?
Yes, but like the magic thing I've been looking for 10 years. You've been relying on pain medication for decades. And
20 years.
In 4 months, we've changed our lives.
Yeah.
So we started to get all this down on paper. This is where it came from, our own need.
Yeah. And research.
We
researched everything.
Everything. I've about 20 books in there on intermittent fasting. And we just started to write it all down, our first-hand stories. And then we thought, people need inspiration for recipes. We've all made 100 banana breads in lockdown, but let's start writing these recipes down that we enjoy.
Yeah, and then cutting out anything processed. So we don't use a lot of sugar, and we don't use processed ingredients.
It's all from scratch.
So it's just trying to be as healthy and put as much goodness in your body as you can.
And everybody needs inspiration. I've been making the same meals for 10 years. You've been making them, but when you start sharing that, and then we thought we need to create a community of women here, because we've all tried to do this alone and it's boring and it's soul destroying.
Too hard on your own.
You need the support of other women. So we created this course. We got it all down. We went through the software. We uploaded everything, and it was a learning.
Then we put out the call for, what was it, 10?
Yeah. So we thought, well, do you think anybody be interested in this? Like, will we put it on the internet?
So we were kind of like, oh God, maybe nobody will want to know.
Maybe if we got 10, we'll be fine, won't it? Yeah, we'll get 10. Maybe if we got 5.
Yeah, we'll be fine, yes.
So yeah, we did make the call out, and
30. He got 30.
It was just ping, 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 ping. And Nicola phoned me, was like, oh my God, if you looked. I was like, what? Am I for a walk? What? If you looked on Instagram. So it was just ping, 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 ping. I'd really love to do this. I'd really love to do this. So we said, well, what we'll do? We put them in a WhatsApp group. We'll do a Facebook. It was a very much learning on the job.
Organic. Get on here again.
And we created the WhatsApp. And from the word go, we thought, there's something really special here. All the women were amazing. They were all in the same boat. Everyone was just so open and honest and said, I have struggled with my weight since I was a teenager. And we're talking about women in their 50s here, in their 40s.
Yeah, and just thought it was, maybe going through menopause, oh, it's just sure there's nothing I can do. It's menopause now. I just have to accept that I'm going to be 2 stone heavier than I want to be. And, it was just the results that came in after the trial were just mind-blowing. We were looking at it going,
it wasn't just a pie in the sky idea. This is amazing. It's not just us.
Yeah.
And all the women were like, this is amazing. You girls need to take this to the masses. So we just sort of, tried to share our stories on Instagram, on Facebook, and it's really grown and grown and grown from there.
It's just lovely. It was such a great community now.
It's helping people in the most remarkable ways.
And it is just, whenever you get an email through or a wee message saying, girls, you have actually changed my life. It's just the feeling that you get. It's just like, oh my God, we're actually helping people.
It just feels so good. It feels like for the first time in our careers that this is something that we're so passionate about and that we just want to help so many people, because it is so simple to do. That doesn't mean it's easy. And that's why we've created this community, so that people can lean on us. They can, now it's not just us sharing our experience. All the other women in there are going, no, just do this. You do this. I felt like that at the beginning.
I've tried this. What about this? Have you looked at doing it this way?
Yep, sharing recipes with each other. And there's one lady who is back playing hockey. She's like in her late 40s. She's back playing hockey because she's lost 2.5 stone.
And she looks absolutely unreal.
She said she wouldn't have been able to run the length of herself before. Now she's just 90 minutes on a pitch scoring goals. It's incredible. And then there's another lady who's been on really heavy pain medication for about 20-30 years, and she's been able to reduce it right down. She's lost over 2.5 stone. She's walking better, she's feeling better, she's more energy, she's sleeping better. The results are incredible.
They are, definitely.
So we want to just bring this to the masses, and that's what our podcast is really about. We want to invite people on to the show to talk about their experience
and just the wellness as well. How you can just keep yourself as well as you possibly can, especially, we all know that it's difficult times for the NHS and the health service and all that. So anything we can do to try and keep ourselves as healthy as we possibly can.
And have fun while we're doing it.
And have fun and create a wee community.
We don't take ourselves too seriously, and we speak openly and honestly that, we all have,
we'll try. It's not, every day. Sometimes you get up and you think, what, I'm just gonna eat from
morning
and
now
dawn to
on Sunday.
And everybody has those days. We're human. But the thing about it is, you have a day like that and you get back on it the next day and you think, right, okay, that's enough now.
Yeah, it's not like a normal diet where you're like, well, the diet I've ruined, I've fallen off the wagon. Yes, there's no wagon. No. This is a lifestyle, and we're in it for the long term. And because a lot of people, and this was me, I started for the weight loss thing, and this will just be a wee thing I do till I get the weight off. a year later, I'm still doing it day and daily. And yes, I give myself the odd day off, but I'm still fasting. I'm just doing it bigger with it.
Yeah, the majority of the time. You're fasting and you're following an intermittent fasting lifestyle,
and I'm burning fat, and I'm doing my cellular recycling. I know, incredible. So that is our first little podcast.
Had a wee bit about us, and hopefully enjoyed that. And hopefully we'll get some other guests on soon.
Yes, and we'll bring their stories to you to inspire you on your weight loss journey. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.